But then this brings me to a more interesting question of who are the acknowledgements for? And most importantly, to God for giving me the story and helping me to write it. Thank you. There seem to be two different types of acknowledgements. I am mentioned in the acknowledgements. Hello everyone and welcome back to An Artist Travels. My name is Nikki and in today's video I'm going to be writing the acknowledgements to my memoir. So we're doing things a little bit differently today in that I just wanted to share with you just a quick verse that I was reading literally just now before I picked up the camera, and it just really warmed my heart, so I thought I would just share it with you really quickly because I feel like it'll be useful for other people. But this comes from the book of Ecclesiastes, which is my favorite book in the Bible. It is a fantastic book, and it is, I feel like you have to read it at the right time because it's kind of, at first glance, it's all about the futility of life, and I feel like it can get really deep and quite like upsetting. But actually I think the message is so hopeful because the conclusion about the point of life I think is very, very beautiful. But it's definitely one that is very like philosophical, and I don't think it gets enough love. It is one of my favorite books. I just think it's really like deep and very, there's a lot of stuff in it. But anyway, this is from chapter 4 and the title says The Advantages of Companionship. So I'll just read this out for you real quick. I observed yet another example of something meaningless under the sun. This is a case of a man or woman who is all alone, without a child or a brother, yet who works hard to gain as much wealth as he can. Then he asks himself, who am I working for? Why am I giving up so much pleasure now? It is all so meaningless and depressing. Two people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Likewise, two people lying close together can keep each other warm. But how can one be warm alone? A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but two can stand back to back and conquer. Three are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. So I really like this because it speaks to different types of relationships, right? At first glance, you might think, oh, it's about romantic relationships, but actually also friendships, business partnerships. But yeah, also a husband and wife in terms of relationship with God. I think the three braided cord is still applicable. But I don't know, it just kind of heartened me. Especially the verse that says, two people are better than one, for they can help each other succeed. Because I feel like it's really easy to get stuck in an individualistic way of thinking, whereby you think if I go it alone and work hard, I'm gonna succeed and other people will be a distraction to that. This is saying the complete opposite. This is saying actually two people help each other succeed. And why would you not want help? You can help someone else succeed and they can help you succeed, and it's mutually beneficial. I really like that. Anyway, we're gonna get into the video now. I'm gonna be writing the acknowledgements to my Christian memoir, so very exciting. And yeah, what I'm gonna do, and I was gonna go downstairs, but maybe I'll sit here, I know. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is grab a couple of books from my bookshelves, look at what they've done for acknowledgements, and then write my own. I don't think it'll be particularly difficult. Let's go. Okay, so these are the books that I have chosen to read for their examples of acknowledgements. We have here Histories by Sam Guglani, and this is a really fascinating book that was sent to me by Quercus Books Publishing a long time ago. And yeah, so I can't remember if there's an acknowledgements. There is, but I don't remember reading it, so we're going to read that. I also have here a book called Overthrow, and this is actually an eating disorder memoir, also written by a Christian woman, so that will be very applicable. I then have here Childhood by Toby Ditlevson, and I mentioned this in my Camp NaNoWriMo video last year, so I'll link that below if you're interested. But yeah, it's a trilogy. This is part of a trilogy from a very, very famous author from Denmark, and it's all about addiction. Well, this first one isn't, but the trilogy in general chronicles sort of her experiences with addiction, I believe. But this is her first one about childhood, and again, because it's autobiographical, I'm interested in seeing, I don't know how that would affect the acknowledgements, to be honest, but I'm still gonna read it. Then we have The Hiding Place, which I talk about in my writing a memoir ain't easy video, which was really fun. So if you haven't watched that, give it a watch. I'm quite proud of that video, even though it was literally me just turning on the camera and just rambling. I think it's very honest. And then we have here Not All Black Girls Know How to Eat, and this is an eating disorder memoir by a black woman. And we're doing a bit of color coordination today. But yeah, again, want to read the acknowledgements. So I'm just gonna drink my coffee, read the acknowledgements, see what I can learn about writing acknowledgements. There might be something that I don't know. I'm sure there is. Maybe there's a little formula that they all use, maybe not. Maybe they're all very individual. I'm interested. And then we'll start writing my own. I think I'm gonna make notes on my laptop as I go through, just any things that I notice, any things I'm like, oh, that's good, let me add that to my own acknowledgements. Oh, that's sweet. Shall I just read you this line? It's really sweet. Mike, my husband, without your constant support, humor and nurturing, I would not have had the strength to tell my truth. Yes. 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 Okay, so that was emotional. That was like reading an acceptance speech, you know, at an award ceremony. It's like, thanks to my mom and my dad, but you know, in book form. I like this final line here. All the other people who warrant an acknowledgement for helping me to grow are too numerous to mention, but please know that I could not have survived my addiction or recovery without you. Something that this made me realize is how solemn a process writing an acknowledgements is, in terms of this is actually a very important thing and something very much worth taking seriously, which I already was doing, but it feels a bit sacred. Not sacred, a bit hallowed, a bit special, a bit, you know, it's very beautiful. This will be quite different. This is a fiction book. Let me put the light on. It's a bit dark, isn't it? Interesting. Well, this was very different. It's basically just a thank you and then a list of names. Like the majority of this is just a list of names. Name for the surprise, name for telling me stories, and the rest are just names. Like credits at the end of a movie, except it doesn't actually say what they did. It's just they're listed here. Well, that was easy. That's not how I want to do mine, but food for thought, definitely. Okay. I mean, nope. There's no acknowledgements in this one. Okay, well, never mind. The Hiding Place. This is a memoir about a Christian family who hide Jews in their basement during the Holocaust. I think in their basement. Oh my gosh, don't tell me this doesn't have an acknowledgement either. Come on. Are you serious? Oh, this is cool though. I love this. Okay, so at the end it says 3 ways to put this book to work in your own life, and then there's like journaling prompts. I love that. I love that. I want to do that. By Janine Eklund. Okay, see, look, this also has questions for reflection. I love the font. This has to have. So this has a postscript written by the author's husband. So basically a short chapter at the end, presumably talking about how it affected him, or like how they worked through things, or basically his perspective on her entire situation. That's a great idea. I love that. I love it. It's giving me ideas. Are you kidding me? Are you actually joking me? Okay, so what we've learned is that a lot of books don't have acknowledgements. Right. I've deliberately gone through and chosen books that have some sort of acknowledgement or afterword. I can't believe it was this challenging. Wow, okay. This is Hope and Worth by D.A. Stevens. I'll have it linked down below. This is the author's and my very good friend. She's been on this channel a few times. Her debut novel. It's a romance novel. And yeah, check it out. I've spoken about it before. I'll have it linked down below. Let's see what she did for her. I'm sorry, it's a bit noisy outside. Let's see what she did for her acknowledgement. Okay, so this is nice. So she did a Dear Reader one first, which is nice. Okay, that's smart. Cool. Yes, good reminder. Okay, so this is like a little note to the reader. It also serves as a good marketing opportunity because she kind of like signposts you to other places in which you can share the book, leave a review of the book, etc. And then there's a content warning, which I think is very important and is something that I'll be including in my book. I'll put my content warning, I think, in the preface. But I like this as like a separate note here. So that's something really good to bear in mind. Then we have the acknowledgements. I'm going to read this out because it's very short. To Stephen and Juliana, the best siblings and best friends I could ask for. To my mum for telling me that anything is possible and showing me how. It's so loud, I'm sorry. To all my friends and mentors, and most importantly, to God for giving me the story and helping me to write it. Thank you for the legacy. And then there's a little bit about the author. Yeah, yes girl, cool. Great, this was helpful. I like how short and sweet this was. I think she did a really good job at just getting straight to the point and condensing it. Great skill to have as a writer. This is Bridget of Clay. Guessed it would have an acknowledgements because this is his first book since The Book Thief, and there was a huge gap between these two books in terms of years. I felt like it was 8 years or something. Oh, this is long. Okay. I think instead of talking about each one individually, I might just do a general thoughts at the end, but I just want to talk about this one. Training the Actor's Body, a guide by Dick McCaw. Dr. Dick McCaw is a scholar, an artist, a teacher, all-round amazing person, and he specializes in physical theater. And yeah, so this is a non-fiction book. It's a book of practice for actors, for those who teach acting, about the actor's body. Yes, I mean, it's what it says. I'm going to read the acknowledgements. I know there's an acknowledgements because I am mentioned in the acknowledgements. So there you go. All right, let's read. Aw, so humble. Yeah, this is great. This is a really nice acknowledgements. I think it was a really nice mixture of humility and gratitude and short and sweet, but also just it does enough. It does what it needs to do. Yes, I was one of the beta readers. Oh, I forgot it was signed. Oh, this is really cute. To Nikki, well, you're actually part of this book, so I hope you approve. With much love. Aww. Dick McCaw was one of my previous lecturers when I was studying my undergrad, and he asked me to read this book. When was it? Very shortly after I'd graduated. Yeah, it was the same year I'd graduated actually. So that was an honor to read this book and sort of read some of the things that I'd been taught, some of the thinking, some of the practice, and just gain new knowledge as well and insight. And obviously such an honor to be asked to read this. So thank you very much, Dick. Yeah, it's great. I took some notes and I just want to discuss very briefly what I feel like I've learned from reading 1, 2, 3, 4,
5. 5? 6. Did this one? No, 5. Wow, it was 5, right? Yeah, it was 5.
Okay, so first of all, there seem to be 2 different types of acknowledgements. So number 1 is the chill in-joke acknowledgement that I saw a lot in, this one, Bridge of Clay. And this was very much like, I'm going to thank this friend and I'm going to make an in-joke. And I, as the reader, did not understand what the in-joke was, but it was just really nice to read, very warm. Making lots of in-jokes basically to the people he was thanking, versus sort of like the plain listing method where you're just like, here are a bunch of names, that's it, voila. So there's two different approaches. I've always preferred the first one. I don't know if other people did this. As a kid, I just read the acknowledgements of books that I was very, very interested in, that I really liked. Especially as a kid who, the first thing I wanted to be was an author, right? Like career-wise, I was kind of like, how do books come about? How does this happen? So I was always very interested to read how the authors would thank people and what their process was to get the book published and get to that finished thing. Yeah, I really read the acknowledgements, which I don't know how popular that is, but anyway. And I don't know, maybe if times have changed, but they always seem to be more of that chill in-joke thing. So in my head, that's what acknowledgements have been. And I guess they're just more interesting to read than like the plain list for me. But then this brings me to a more interesting question of who are the acknowledgements for? Because if they're really there, shut up. So if they're really there just to thank the people that helped you, then it makes sense for it to be really chill and to make loads of in-jokes and like personal references, and you're just writing a thank you letter directly to them. On the other hand, you could just write a thank you letter to them, and you could say that the acknowledgements, the whole point of them is to publicly acknowledge said person, in which case it could just be a plain list, right? Like you would do credits at the end of a movie. So I don't think either is right or wrong. It just brings up this interesting question of who are the acknowledgements for? Are they for, you know, like 10-year-old me who read all the acknowledgements to understand what people did to get the book to where it was? Or is it this public acknowledgement, or is it like a joke? Is it a banter? I guess it's a stylistic choice. I liked that because I chose quite a few non-fiction books. All the resources and references they had at the end is giving me more ideas as to how to format, that's the one, I was gonna say formulate, to format my own. And then finally, something I hadn't thought about but makes sense is that, for example, in Dick McCaw's book, he would thank people in alphabetical order according to their surname, which I think is useful and maybe avoids any controversy or hurt feelings or whatever. I don't know if I'll do it, but it's something useful to bear in mind. Okay, without further ado, I think I should let's write the first draft of these acknowledgements. Okay, we can do this. Let's have a new page. Girl, it's all about picking the right font, you know? I just put a reference in there that's just made me laugh so much. That's brought me so much joy. Oh, she's gonna love that. Okay, I think we're done. That didn't take very long at all. That took me like 20 minutes. I think I've learned that there is a lot of value in actually just taking time to sit and study the acknowledgements. I don't think you really think about that until you have to write them, but there is value in doing it because there's different ways of approaching it. I've kind of gone for a mix. I haven't gone for just a straight list, but it's pretty serious in tone, but there are a few sort of like in-joke. I'll come back and I'll edit this, but for now I think we've done the first draft with the acknowledgements and I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll be posting some more updates about the memoir as we go along and giving you the release date very, very soon, which will be this year. It will be this year, so I'm excited. And yeah, bye.